Ignition, usually in a car, we put the key in and turn the ignition to turn the motor on. Ignoble, excellent word. Opposite of noble. His behavior toward his enemies was ignoble, not noble. Illegible, can't be read. His writing was illegible. Illiterate, two meanings. First of all, an illiterate person cannot read. However, the word is used more often to say he's illiterate, meaning he has never read anything. He can read, but he reads the sports page and comic books. He's illiterate. Illuminate is to cast light on, to illuminate some subject especially. No one in the room knows anything about, I don't know what, Malaysian history, and suddenly someone speaks up and says, I will tell you about Malaysian history, and illuminates them, or illuminates the topic. An immigrant is a person who comes into a country from another country. Immortal, not subject to death. Shakespeare's fame is immortal. Immutable, unchangeable. What in this world is immutable? We want things to be immutable, but they're not. To impair is to impede, almost the same. To hinder, basically. Impending, going to happen very soon. The impending decision about the presidency of the United States must come soon. Going to happen very soon. The impending doom, the impending execution of the prisoner. Imperative, it's only used as it is imperative that we send a message to our friends. It is absolutely necessary. Of course, imperative is a mood in grammar. Go is in the imperative, not mood, voice. Voice. Subject, you, understood. Grammatically, there it's a noun. No, it's still an adjective. Imperative voice. Imperceptible, it can't be perceived. Amoeba are imperceptible, that is so small one can't see them. Now, we could also say his irritation was imperceptible, that is, he smiled and no one could see that he was annoyed, that he was irritated. Imperceptible. Imperial, adjective form of empire, very good. The imperial throne in the Forbidden City in Beijing. Implacable, can't be placated, can't be calmed down. He is the implacable enemy of ignorance. He will not give up. He will never stop trying to change ignorance. To imply is not to say openly, but to hint. To hint. When he said he doesn't like, I can't think of a good example. He implied, though, that he could change his mind. He didn't say it, but he hinted it. An impostor is a person who pretends to be someone else. I once knew an impostor, a man who pretended to be a scholar of some note. He wasn't the man at all. He was an impostor. Impotent, in a general sense, not potent, that is, not strong. The word, let's see now, the government seems to be impotent to do anything, to make any changes during this economic crisis. Is not strong enough or lacks the energy or ability to do something. Of course, the sexual meaning is most famous. Impoverish, a verb, almost always used in the past participle, impoverished. Poverty, state of being poor, indigence. To impoverish someone is to destroy everything the person has, or reduce that person to poverty. Impunity, always used in the sense of he gets away with something. That is, he stole things from his classmates, and his classmates knew about it, but he got away with it. He did it with impunity, not punished. Incarnate, more often the adjective form for Christians. Christ is God incarnate. Incarnate means entering into flesh body form. Now, it's also used, he is generosity incarnate, meaning he is a perfect exemplar, a perfect example of generosity. Good one. Incarnation really only has to do with the Christian doctrine of the, according to the fourth gospel, the Logos with God from the very start becomes flesh and assumes a human identity, becoming flesh. Incentive is a noun. Looks like an adjective. It's a noun. He gave me. They gave me many incentives to perform well. That is, they told me, look, if you do this, you will win. You will be famous. You will be rich or something. All these incentives. They gave me incentives. That is, encouragement and the promise of receiving something. Incinerate, verb, to reduce to ashes. Incisive, cutting. An incisive criticism cuts through all the nonsense straight to the essence of the matter. An incisive view of things does not remain on the superficial level, but cuts into the essence of things, cutting into. Inclination is incline. His inclination to be lazy, his inclination to be indifferent when he should take sides and make choices is regrettable. His tendency, inclination is tendency. Incoherent, adjective, excellent. If my arguments are incoherent, they do not hold together, they do not cohere. I skip around, I do not argue in a consistent or sequential, clear way. Incorrigible, can't be corrupted. He's an incorrigible liar. He lies and he can't stop lying. Incorrigible. Usually it's used humorously, though, not so seriously. Incriminating evidence is evidence that seems to prove that someone did something terrible, something criminal. The testimony of the witness was very incriminating. It incriminated him. It seemed to prove that, yes, he committed that crime. To incur is to cause. The accident incurred great damage, caused great damage, or the crisis incurred great expense on the part of various people, caused them to have to spend a lot of money. Indemnity is basically compensation, paying someone back for damage done. Indigo is a color, I think is very light purple, I'm not sure. Indolent means lazy. Ineffable, wonderful word, can't be described. All serious religious experience perhaps is ineffable. Mystical experiences are ineffable. Love is is ineffable. Life itself. Inept, excellent word. Incompetent. He is so inept, meaning he can't do perhaps anything, or he can't do something well. I'm an inept guy around the house. That is, there's nothing much I can fix. I don't know how to do things very well. Inept. Inexact, imprecise, not exact, not precise. His estimates are inexact, not precise. Infidel is a person who does not believe. So really this is the better word than heathen or pagan from before, because heathen and pagans do believe in something. An infidel does not believe in whatever we're talking about. The Muslims used to want to kill or convert all the infidels. The Christians wanted to do the same thing. Buddhism has been happily free of this Western trait. To infiltrate is to penetrate into, especially a group. A spy from South Korea infiltrates the North Korean society. He's an imposter. He pretends to be something, their friend, and he enters into their administration. Infirmary is usually a place where a nurse is, usually, where people can go for slight injuries, not serious. Inflict is to cause, inflict damage, cause damage. The hurricane inflicted huge damage on Florida, let's say. Informity. Informity. What's informity? Somehow this looks very strange to me. I don't know informity. I'm lost. I'll check that. Never seen it, I think, unless I'm tired. Infringe. To infringe upon someone's rights is to invade, to violate that person's rights, to infringe upon someone's rights, usually. Ingrate, I have marked here, we mentioned before, a person who does not show gratitude. To ingratiate is an excellent word. I flattered him or them in an effort to ingratiate myself. It's one of the few verbs that are used reflexively in the English language. There aren't many verbs that are used primarily reflexively. That is, I see myself, you see yourself, he sees himself. Other languages, French, Italian, German, all European languages, are full of these reflexive verbs. English has none. But I think to ingratiate oneself with a group, that is to try to win their friendship, their admiration, very good. To inhale is to breathe in. To inhale the poisonous gas, terrible. Inherent is inborn. The inherent traits of human beings are whatever the traits are. What are our inherent traits? Traits we're born with. I'm not sure what they are, though. Inimical, hostile. He was inimical to any suggestion that he had done something wrong. Hostile. Iniquity, wickedness. Old Testament translation word, King James anyway. Wickedness. The sins and wickedness of contemporary secular society. Inject, to usually put insert, to introduce into the blood by a needle, to inject. But you can also inject some humor into a discussion. If a discussion becomes a little too heated, too passionate, someone might make a joke to try to inject some humor into the discussion and calm people down a little bit. Innate is the same as inherent, inborn. Innate traits, inborn traits.